This is a MOP service right here. We got a 4-inch MOP coming in, feeding this place here. So this is MOP. This is over 60 psi coming in to this station here. And here's your 4-inch MOP service right here. This is a 4-inch service that goes all the way out there. Way out there. So the way I locate this 4-inch service, this flange here, this flange is insulated. See the insulated? Right here, the gasket. It's insulated. So what I'll do, I'll just hook up my magnet to the weld here. Grab my lead, and I'll put it right here so it's touching the weld. So it's touching the weld there. I'm trying not to scrape it because I don't want this thing to rust. This is all primer, and you can see getting 100 milliamps off it. That's how I locate a MOP service, 4-inch service going here. That goes all the way out to my 6-inch MOP that's out there in the road. Let's get into the video, folks. We're doing gas out here. I got this gas main right here. Steel. It goes all the way down there. But the issue is, I gotta locate this intersection. We have another gas from this valve that goes across the street. But the problem is, there's an insulator on this gas main. The print shows a valve out here, so hopefully in this valve, we have some wires that's jumping over the insulator, so we could hook on to those wires if they're in there and locate this straight across to bypass the insulator. If not, they don't have wires in this valve here. That means I have to go to all these buildings trying to pinpoint where the insulator is right here. So I'm trying to avoid, trying to hook up to 4 different services here to pinpoint the insulator when I could easily hop onto a wire if it's in there, and then locate this main straight out all the way down, and then come back and fall back, and then just worry about locating the services to the main, and then I'm not messing around with the insulator. So I hope that makes sense, because we have to find where the insulator is, because we got to mark this spot crossing the road. So that means I have to hook up to all these services to make sure I'm on the gas main. I did not bleed off onto a different utility because of the insulator. Anytime a gas main's insulated, you're trying to blow through an insulator, it's going to push you off onto a different utility because you're forcing your tone, trying to blow through an insulator, which 9 out of 10 times you would jump off the gas main and most likely put you on the street lights, or AT&T line, or some other utilities. So you want to make sure you find a valve, and hopefully there's wires in there. So let's take a look. I'm using this tool to open this valve up, because they're a pain in the ass to open. See what I mean? They're a pain in the ass to open, so this one here is rusted in, so I might need a sledge. So let me get a small sledge to get this open. Anytime you're pounding on a valve like this, you want to make sure you don't hit it too hard, because it's going to break. It's cast iron. I'm telling you. I've been pounding on this. I put some go-go juice on it, pounding on it, scraping this son of a bitch. It won't open, folks. It won't open. So I need to hook out to a couple of these services, 4 services, 5 services. And hopefully, I need to hook out to that service across the street to bring this main back to the valve, find out where the insulator is, somewhere here, when my tone fades away or it gets a little funky, I'll stop, put a dot there, go to one of these service, alongside service, probably this building here, catch this main here, and bring it back where my tone dies out, or it's a little funky here, then I know where my insulator is. So let's do the hard way, the long way. All right, when I'm looking at gas service, trying to mark out with the insulator on it, I'm gonna look for a service that's steel. And by me looking at this service here, I can see the wrap on it, so I know I got a steel service here. So this steel is connected to that steel right there. I got a 6-inch there, and on that side with the insulator, it's a 4-inch. So I got a latted welded T and a reducer from a 6 to a 4. So I want to make sure I find a steel one. If you find a wire, I wouldn't use the wire, because a lot of times you might bleed off. I mean, it all depends on the circuit, all depends on the situation. But try to find a steel service that ties into a steel main. That's your best bet. So let's hook onto this and see what happens. So I got no place to ground out, so I'm looking for something to ground out. I could ground out behind the regulator, but I got this. So instead of running my lead all the way out there, get an extension, put in the ground way out there, I'm gonna use this thing here. You might have to peel back the paint a little bit to get continuity, but let me scrape. Here's the box, key box for some reason. There might be, I don't know what this is. Oh, it's a lockbox. It's a lockbox to get into the building, I guess. Hidden. So I'm trying to scrape the paint. Let's try this bolt. Alright, see a lot of sparks coming out. That's normal. 100%. 100 milliamps. Do a sweep way out here. Reading pretty good, 80 milliamps. Good null response. So here's my service, and one more thing. Bar goes all the way down. That's good, beautiful. Okay, got my valve right here. The shut off over here. So let's see. I'm gonna paint it nice and yellow so we know. Now I'm gonna sweep and see if I get this main. So I know my service ties in there. So I'm gonna be about 30 feet away from my service, so it's not pushing me back on the service. So I'm about 25 feet or so, 15. And you notice I didn't bump up my gain yet. I'm at 47 and my peak bar on top moved without me bumping up the gain. So anytime I do my sweep, I'll never bump up my gain. Whatever gain I'm on the receiver over there, I'm gonna leave it to pinpoint my gas main. And like right here, you see it moved. You don't hear the sound yet because I got bump it up, but you see I'm getting good response on peak. I'm gonna finish my sweep. And nothing else moved except that spot. So now since I pinpointed, I'm gonna get my peak graph in the middle. In the middle charts. You can see where it's in the middle, so I bumped it up so it's in the middle. I'm gonna do my test again to make sure this is it. So good response on peak and null right here. Good response, so the main's right here. It's not really green with my peak, but almost a couple inches. So my main's right between the two dots. And I'm gonna turn this and it should go down, voila, went all the way down to 0. Almost 0. It should be, in theory, it should be at 0. But we got a lot of interference out here. Now we're gonna try and locate, pinpoint the insulator. Okay, now right here is my reducer. Should be my reducer right here. You can see where my compass is turning. So it gets me onto that main right here where the insulator is. The insulator is right over there. But I got my reducer here. So ladder welded T, reducer from a 6 to a 4. So I'm gonna keep walking it out. 41 milliamps at 6 feet. You can see where the compass wants to turn me. Wants to turn me onto that main. So at this point here, I know I got my reducer here and the ladder welded T's right there. So I'm gonna walk away again, about 20-30 feet away from that point. And now I'm gonna redo my sweep again. I know I got my gas main there, so I'm gonna start right here in between. And I'm gonna leave my gain where it's at 55. And there we go. We moved again. 18 milliamps, 4 feet. Complete the sweep. Don't get run over by a car, or there'll be the end of me and end of the YouTube. So it didn't move. So my peak graph up here moved up a little bit. It's giving me a reading, 20 milliamps, 5 feet. I bumped up halfway. So I'm in the middle of my peak bar's in the middle now. Do my test all over again. The nose pushed me way over here. So it's really not agreeing with my peak. 13 milliamps. And right here, prime example. It's not, the bars are not going all the way down. It's reading, it's moving. Let's see. So it's reading about 7.9, 8.0. So I know right here, this is my null, and this is my peak. So I know I'm having an issue here. I got resistance on this line. So I have to go to one of these services that's on this gas main to bring it back to the insulator. I mean, bring it back to the ladder welded T, because the reducer and the T out here is throwing my peak and my null off. So I need another service here to bring it back, probably that service that ties in, to bring it back so I can make my tie-in over there. So remember that. If the peak is not a green, for example, here's an example. My peak's over here. Now I'm gonna null it out. See how far my null is? Here's my null, and here's my peak. When you're that far off, there's no way I'm gonna put a line right down the middle here, because I'm way too off of my peak and null. Look at this garbage guy through. So anytime I'm this far away, where my peak and my null is not a green, and I'm this far off, I need to go troubleshoot this main going that way to bring it back to pinpoint it. Is the main here? Is the main here? Where's the main at? I don't know. Because like I said, 300 times I repeat myself. This is critical. My peak's over here and my null's over here. That's over a foot. That's telling me there's an issue with this main going that way. So I'm going to need, here's this guy. So I'm going to need a servicer that ties that to the main so I can do my tie-in to the ladder weld T and the reducer. So remember that, folks. That's really critical that you just don't mark it when you're that far off, because when you do, your peak and null's not green, you're going to get damage and you're going to have something like this. You see where the locator has it right here, then he has a mark right here, and then he has a mark right here. So you see where his null and peak is throwing him off. This gas main steel, it's supposed to be straight. And you can see it's not straight. So what he did, he was forced in the back and he's off. So marking like that, and if the main's over here, you know, you're 14 inches. Illinois, they give you 18, so they'll be cutting it close. The gas company won't be happy with that locator, guaranteed. So let's do a sweep. Since I'm good here at 38, so let's catch this main and find a reducer, or find an insulator. So got a good tone here, dot it out. Dot it out. Dot it out. And right here you can see I got a mark here and a mark there. So the locator is forcing his tone to the insulator, and this is what's going to happen. It's going to throw you off. Right there, it's 12 inches apart. He has the main coming this way and the main over here. I mean, this is critical, folks. You can't, you know, have something like this. If I locate something, the next locator should pick up the same spot where I got it. But this is, you know, he started halfway decent here, but then he's fading off underneath the curb, it looks like. Well, we know it's right here. If he was watching my video and followed my steps, check your depth milliamps. There's a null here. Good response. Good response. And this one didn't go all the way down, but it's a good response. So let's figure out where the insulator is. So I'm gonna dot it. I'm gonna use peak only because I'm at the insulator. There's my valve. Sweep. And my tone. And you can see right here, my tone's getting funky. So you can see where it's pushing him off where his dot is, because I blew through the insulator. Now you can see I'm blowing through the insulator because I still had a tone, but I know there's an insulator behind me, and you can see where he has his mark and where my dot is. Because I'm blowing through the insulator. See how far when you blow through the insulator like that, how far you're getting away from your actual main? And I'm picking up probably a phone line or a Comcast line or something. So this point here, I'm gonna leave it dotted like this. And now I'm gonna need a service over here, steel service, to bring it back. My insulator should be like right over here somewhere. Right here should be my insulator. So I'm going to mark this. I'm gonna mark this out because this is good tone. Up to right here. And you can see where the compass is getting cockeyed. Everything else is checking out good. It doesn't go all the way to zero. Compass is still cockeyed because I know I got my insulator on this main. So that's where you guys have to stop, think, and then go to another hookup spot down there to catch this and bring it back to the insulator. All right, folks, that's all I got to say about how to locate when you have an insulated main. This is the way I do it. This is the right way. I never had a gas hit in my lifetime. So if I've been doing this long, never got a gas main hit, I'm doing something right. Please hit that like button, folks. Subscribe if you have not. If you have any questions, feel free to leave it in the comment below. Have a great day.